Hello everyone, welcome, and let's go over some pickups and some news and some weekly wrap-up. Okay, first up from Nerdzoic, these two got held up in spectacular fashion, but I got Jack-o'-lantern and Shulky. So I actually have these two secured with hella dope. Having some issues with I believe their distributor is Entertainment Earth. Don't swear me to that, but having some issues. I just grabbed these just in case these two look like the ones that are going to be hard to get later on. So I just secured them now, and I decided if you know, everything goes all right with hella dope and I get them from there too, I was planning to do a big giveaway when I hit 1,000 subs. That climb is slow, but you know. Anyway, other things I got this week was Mr. AJ, who will you'll see what that's about later. It should be fun. Then I kind of caved and I grabbed Jinx. Just because, I don't know. Then the other thing I got, this is kind of way back on the channel. When I first started the channel, I did a lot of content on this game. And then I kind of got out of it, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But I did buy the Baratheon Heroes 4 from a Song of Ice and Fire miniatures game. Reason being is this is Renly's personal guard. Renly was Robert Baratheon's brother. It's kind of funny, they're the Rainbow Guard, and if you've even watched Game of Thrones, you know Renly was kind of flamboyant, let's say it that way, and he had a Rainbow Guard, and George R.R. Martin years later remitted, because in the books, if you've never read the books, all this information comes out secondhand. You don't witness it firsthand. In the TV show, they just went full on, and you know, just was right on the bat. So you know, we find this long after Renly has been assassinated, and you know, there's a little bit of questioning. Well, is it true? And Martin later admitted it was, and you know, that he kept it under wraps. Renly, that is, and you know, that was the way that it came out, was in kind of similar to how it did in the series. But, you know, trying not to spoil anything, but God, it's hard not to spoil that book without talking about it. But he also said he knew, you know, at the time, rainbows were not symbols of LGBTQ and all that, so the coincidence is exactly that, a coincidence. You gotta remember, those books were, you know, these books have been around for a while. So, it was really, you know, trying to do the exact opposite of the Kingsguard, who were all white. So, yeah, there you go. There's a couple more units I'm going to get in this game, just to have them. My absolute favorites are the Lannisters and the Free Folk, and there's a couple of those that have come out since then. I mean, the game's really slowed down on releases, but I'm still going to grab a couple more. But I didn't want the Rainbow Guard because, you know, I wanted the Rainbow Guard to fight the Kingsguard, is basically what I wanted. So, there we are. Anyway. Alright, so, yeah, that's kind of my week in hauls. You know, not too much. No Ollie stuff this week. I floated by Ollie's, nothing there. And, nothing I want, anyway. You know, always tempted by Star Wars with Ollie, so, always. Okay, stop the presses. So, you think I would learn this? Don't do these videos until after you do your grocery shopping. But I went to the Walmart, and to my surprise, I mean, sometimes when you collect wrestling figures, a lot comes through at once, and that's kind of the case here. I mean, there's not much that I collect anymore, but it's like, seems like anytime I go to the store, it all hits at once. So, by the way, I've already opened this one up and done some shooting with this figure, so, you know. Anyway, that was right after I did the video yesterday, and I'm editing it today. So I'm going to add this in later, but first and foremost, I've got the Sandman, who is one of my favorites from the old school ECW. I was really happy to find that, because, yeah, that was one I really wanted. And so I was really happy to see him. And then the most important one, which was a shocker, Booker T, Stevie Ray, Harlem Heat. That almost completes the WCW era tag teams. I wanted Harlem Heat, Outsiders, and the Steiners. I'm getting all those by the end of the year. Ringside Collectibles has the box set for the Outsiders and the Steiner brothers. So I've got those on order, and they should be arriving. Well, then again, the Outsiders was supposed to arrive this month, and then you know, it just got moved to late November for some reason. For reasons, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, that got moved. So hopefully I'll get those in. And I don't know what I'll do about that wrestling shelf, because I did shoot a thing the other day, and it was about getting Nash on the shelf. I'm gonna tack it. I think I might tack it on to the end of the video I do for Nash. But you know, after I did that, I'm like, wow, I'm really out of space on my wrestling shelf. I really got to make some decisions on my wrestling shelf. But that's beside the point. One thing I want to talk about with these is and it's a major one, price point. Now look at what you get with these guys: do-rags, sunglasses, alternate hands, and a Build-A-Figure piece for the Disciple. Now, I have no desire for the Disciple, don't get me wrong. Nothing against Ed Leslie. I just not my favorite character, man. And you know, I mean, the thought, I will admit, if I go back in the Rob Van Dam and the Rocker there, I will get them both, and then I'll just park the Disciple with Hollywood Hogan, and then, you know, there we go. But as it is, you know, that's not a target for me. But, you know, I'm not going to go back for a week. I doubt they'll be there. Especially Van Dam. Van Dam probably gone. But, so I got to talk about the price point here. And then look at this with Sandman. You get, they're supposed to be beer cans, but of course they can't say beer cans. You have a kendo stick. You've got alternate hands for that can hold the beer. I mean, that's quite a bit of accessories. Now, let me see. Let me take a look at Jack-O-Lantern here. Okay, so Jack actually has a decent amount of accessories for what he is. I am not sure what that right there is, but he's got an extra pumpkin bomb and extra hands, and his glider. That's pretty rare. Most of the time you're lucky if you just get an extra set of hands. But, you know, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, looking at that, going, wow, that's the same price point. That's less. Okay, I need to tell you the price point. Okay, so the Elites went up to $22. 22, I think it's 22. I think it's $22.74 in my Walmart. Whereas, you know, $25.99 for Legends. You've got these two. Guess what? They were $19.99. Where's that exclusive tax? Yeah. And that really surprised me. So, in light of that, I was kind of like, okay, that's pretty damn good. That's weird. Because, you know, if there was a line that you could compare Marvel Legends to, it would be the WWE line. They do a tremendous amount of reuse, yes. Yes, they do. They've advanced it a lot. It's a similar articulation scheme. It's almost exactly the same. You know, they don't put drop down hips or toe joints into their elites. They do save those for their ultimates. Past that, it's the exact same articulation. Pinless almost exclusively. I have not picked up a figure in a long while that had pins in the arms. That was in the new waves. They've eliminated pins in the arms. They still occasionally do pins in the legs. You know, and like, let me provide the example here. They usually have it covered by something like a knee pad, or it's blended in so well you barely notice it. And they're very small pins too. Let me see here with AJ if I can. Or did they? I'll be surprised if AJ is pinless in the legs. Holy shit. Okay, his knee pad is going to be too hard to get off, but I am not finding pins in his legs. So they must be moving on to pinless legs now too, and that's pretty cool. You know, boot cut, wrist articulation, yeah, it's, you know, they're almost the same size as Marvel Legends. I mean, this is the comparable line to Marvel Legends, and the price went up a little bit a couple years ago, and it has come back down. So that's something to think about. I have to say, with Marvel Legends, I get more and more disappointed. And I mean, what the hell's up with G.I. Joe? They're not giving that many more accessories to warrant that hike. So, yeah. It's really tough to be excited about Hasbro anymore, because you start seeing through. And I know, I don't understand why there's such a separation from toy collectors who collect Legends, Joe, Masters, to wrestling. I don't understand it. I would think customizers would grab up wrestlers because they're great buck bodies. I mean, they are. They're great for customizing. I don't know. I don't understand it, but I'm not going to argue with it. I'm not going to try to convince you should love wrestling figures. I mean, I love wrestling because of where I live and what it meant to me as a kid and a young adult, and even into adulthood. But you know, if that's not for you, that's cool. But still, to me, I really love wrestling, and I'm really getting just my favorites from all time. And boy, just that is hard to collect, because you know, you get something like this 3 in a row right off the bat. I mean, we're still talking $60, but still, I mean, you knock a lot of names off. And I was so glad too, because there's a chase version of this. It's blue. I didn't want it. I wanted the black, because that's the Harlem Heat I know. You know, that's Harlem Heat at their, well, yeah, when they were really, really kicking ass in WCW. So, and of course, Booker T went on to have a bigger career as a singles wrestler, but I still always liked the two of them. I mean, the two of them together was just a cool tag team. As you know, as was the Outsiders, as was the Steiner brothers. So, but these guys made good foils for the Steiners and good foils for the Outsiders. So, all right. I think that's long enough. This is going to be a long video, I guess, even though there's not much to this week, but I'll tack that on and then I'll talk about other stuff. All right. Catch you later, guys. Next week, the only thing I kind of expect, Valiverse did release the pink Steel Brigade for breast cancer awareness. I bought 3, one for me, one for my wife, and one for my mother, who is a breast cancer survivor, and I hopefully will be able to film me presenting that to her. Put it up on next week's thing. I don't know if that's what's going to happen or not, but we'll see. And In other news, to my surprise, and I shouldn't have been surprised, but I also didn't realize that this was the rules we were living under. To my surprise, Vecna was canceled by Super 7 for not meeting minimum order requirements. To me, you'll never meet minimum order requirements because, first off, it's Super 7. So you kind of want to see what you're getting before you get it. Second off, and almost as important, is, you kind of want to see what they're going to do and how the quality is going to be. Because let's face it, Vecna is a lich, and he doesn't have a lot of flesh. So in other words, he's not going to be as solid as, say, I don't know, someone like this, who has skin on his rib cage. Vecna does not. So there's that. Does weigh in on the decision making. I just happen to have trigger right off camera, so that was really not planned. Okay, and in other news, Valaverse is going to Legions Con. A lot of people excited about that, and I can't say I blame them. That sounds like a cool deal. Looks like Pandora's going to be there, as well as some other figures, so let's see. Let's see what's going on. Speaking on some things in that vein, looks like the dock worker strike has been averted for the time being. Temporary, I know, but, at least people can sit in their toilet paper forts and think about what they've done. Yes, I said it. Okay, I know that's a meme that's gotten popular, but, boom, toilet paper. Why is it always toilet paper? And y'all are giving me a complex because I'm going to start hoarding this shit. Really. I mean, I had just gotten over COVID when we had to, struggle with that. And now you guys pull this. It's like, damn it. Stop it. Just stop being silly. Next week I will have these guys. The Okami from Delta 17. I will have those guys up. I like them. Spoiler alert. As for what else is up next week, I'll let you find out as it goes. Not really. I mean, there is not a lot happening in news lately from stuff I'm interested in. And I'm glad with that. Things seem to be winding down. The nostalgia glider seems to be running out of air, and I think everybody's starting to recognize it. And I know people got mad about that G.I. Joe video, but you know what? I'm starting to notice it really bad. What else? Oh, I watched Yojo Jerk's review of Falcon and Coral. I'm now debating it. I may buy that. I don't know. I'm gonna wait for Prime. Comes up next week. I'll see what deals are there. You never know. I know there's some things that were moved, like my Outsiders box set was moved back to late November. Pissed about that. A couple other things were pushed back as well. So maybe that was in anticipation of the dock worker strike. I don't know. We'll have to see. But in the meantime, I think that's all I got. So you guys take care. Have a good evening and good weekend and have some fun. Thanks, and you guys take care.